Hi everybody, I'm Kim. Welcome to the Regretful Yarn Addict. Today we're going to be learning how to make a circular vest, if I can speak correctly. For this tutorial, let's grab ourselves some stitch markers, a darning needle, a pair of scissors, and your choice of hook. I'm going to be using a 6mm, which can be used with worsted weight yarn to make a small, medium, and medium large, depending on how many repeats of a certain row we make. If you'd like to make a large, extra large, use a 7mm. And if you'd like to make an extra large or bigger, use an 8. So let's go ahead, set this stuff aside. And get this started. For today, I'm going to be using a 4-weight yarn, and my choice is going to be Premiere Sweet Roll Frostie in the color Marzipan. And this has 245 yards. Let's not hide that. 245 yards. I'm going to be using probably 2 of these or more. You'll need between 460, 800 yards, or possibly more, depending on how big you're making it and what size hook you're using. So, I'd say go for at least 1,000 yards will definitely make just about any size, but you're only going to need about 460 for what we're doing today. So let's go ahead and get this baby started, shall we? We're going to start with a magic ring. If you don't like magic rings, you can chain 4 and slip stitch to that first chain, and there we'll just work like we would a magic ring. Otherwise, make your magic ring any way that you prefer. I like making mine as if I was making a slip knot, except I don't finish it. I just grab that, pull it up, and I'm going to chain 2. This does not count as anything right now. And now we're going to go ahead and put 12 double crochets into our ring. I am going to put a stitch marker in there so I don't get confused by that chain 2. And 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm going to close that up a little. 7. And I am going over the tail and the ring. 8, 9, 10. And I'm going to tighten that up a little bit. That might have been a little too much. 11 and 12. Do I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, tighten that baby up. I'm going to take my stitch marker out, and I am going to slip stitch to the top of that first double crochet. And that's how we're going to be ending every single round on this, by slip stitching to the first stitch of the previous round. Now we are going to chain 4 and then make a double crochet into this same stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, double crochet going right into that very same stitch. This counts as a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. So I'm going to go ahead and put my stitch marker into that third chain of the starting chain. Now we are going to go into that next stitch and put a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. And we are going to do that into every single stitch all the way around. 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet into every stitch all the way around. And I will meet you at the beginning of the next round. Okay, I have made it all the way around. I put in my last V-stitch there. I'm going to pull out my stitch marker and I am going to slip stitch into the 3rd chain of that beginning chain, like so. Okay, now your chain 1s aren't going to be really super easy to see, but let's go ahead, slip stitch into that first chain 1 space, and now let's chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put a double crochet back into that same chain 1 space. And let's go ahead, 1, 2, 3. Put a stitch marker into that 3rd chain. You don't have to, I just like to do it once in a while so I know exactly where I'm going. This is a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. And we're going to put those into every chain 1 space. Your next chain 1 space is over here. There's 2 stitches between every chain 1 space. So skip those 2 and go into that chain 1 space. And let's put a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet into that next one. Just remember there should be 2 double crochets between our chain 1 spaces. And chain 2. And then we're going to skip over to the next chain 1 space, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. And we're going to do this all the way around. And I'll meet you when I get over here to the end. Okay, I have just finished that round. Now I am going to slip stitch to that 3rd chain. Just like so. And now I'm going to slip stitch into that chain 2 space. And here I am going to chain 2, which does not count as anything, and we're going to make a popcorn stitch into this chain 2 space. So a popcorn is 5 double crochets. And I'm going to put my stitch marker at the top of that one, just so I don't get confused with that chain 2. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then what you do is you pull that loop up, you go back to this first double crochet, put your hook in, put your hook through that loop, pull it tight, and pull it through. Now chain 1, and then we're going to go between our V stitches and place a double crochet, chain 1, and we're going to go into that next chain 2 space and put another popcorn. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull that loop, go back to your first one, insert through that loop, tighten it up, pull it through, chain 1, and then go ahead, whoops, and between the V's, put your double, chain 1. And we're going to do that all the way around. Into every V-stitch, we are going to place a popcorn. Chain 1, and then between our V's, we're going to place a double, chain 1. So go ahead, do that, and I will meet you back here at the end. Okay, I've just placed my last popcorn and my last V-stitch, and I've made my chain 1. I'm going to go make my last double right there, chain 1, and then we're going to go into the top of this popcorn. That's the stitch. This is the chain 1. No, this is the stitch. This is the chain 1. All right. It doesn't really matter that much, as long as you get in one of those. Okay, so now we are going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Because we're going to be putting a treble, chain 2, treble on top of this. So this chain 6 counts as a treble chain 2. So 1, 2, 3 in the 4th chain. Let's go ahead and put our stitch marker. Let's wrap our hook twice. Go back into that same stitch and make a treble. Just like so. And then we're going to chain 1. Wrap twice because we're going to put a treble on top of that double. And chain 1. And then we're going to go ahead and on top of this treble, we're going to, on top of that popcorn, we're going to place a treble, chain 2, and a treble. Chain 1, and a treble on top of that double. Chain 1, and then a treble, chain 2, and a treble on top of the popcorn. And we're just going to do this all the way around. On top of every popcorn is a treble, chain 2, treble, chain 1. On top of every double crochet is a treble, chain 1. So just go ahead, do that all the way around, and I will meet you at the end. All right, and I just finished my last treble. I am going to pull out my stitch marker, make my chain 1, and slip stitch to that top there. And this is what we should be looking like. Okay, now we're going to be putting a double crochet on top of every stitch. In the chain 2 spaces, we're going to put 2 double crochets, and in the chain 1 spaces, 1 double crochet. So I am going to go ahead and start this with a double stack. You can chain 3 if you'd like. In case you want to know what that double stack is. Okay. I've slip stitch. I'm going into that same stitch. I'm making a single crochet. And now I'm going to go into the side right there. grab a loop, pull through, and that makes a double crochet to start a round or a row. Okay, so I've got my first double crochet. Now this is a chain 2 space, so I'm going to go ahead and put 2 double crochets in there. And then I have a stitch, oi, 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 which gets 1 double crochet. And then there's a chain 1 space, 1 double crochet, and a stitch, and a chain 1, and a stitch. And then there's a chain 2, and a stitch. Chain 1, stitch, chain 1, stitch, chain 2, and we're just going to keep doing that all the way around. If it's a stitch, it gets a double crochet. If it's a chain 1, it gets 1 double crochet. If it's a chain 2, it gets 2 double crochets. All the way around. And I will meet you at the end. Okay, I just put in my last double crochet. Now I am going to slip stitch into that first stitch. And this is what we should be looking like. Okay, now we are going to put a popcorn into this stitch. So I'm going to chain 2, which does not count. And then we're going to put 5 double crochets into this stitch. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Grab my loop, pull it through, and now we're just going to go into the next one and put a double crochet for the next 5 stitches. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Just like that. And we're going to put a popcorn stitch into this next one. So it's 5 double crochets going into this same stitch. 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull up a loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Grab our loop. Pull it tight, pull it through. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. and a popcorn. Doink. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 double crochets. And a popcorn. And we're going to do this all the way around. We're going to do 5 double crochets, and then we're going to put in a popcorn. And then 5 double crochets. And a popcorn. And just keep doing that all the way around, and I will meet you back here. Okay, I've just put in my 5th double crochet. Now I'm going to go to the top of my popcorn and slip stitch. I'm going to chain 4 and put a double crochet into that same exact stitch. And if I'd like, I'm going to go 1, 2, grab that. There's my 3rd. Now I'm going to skip this one, and I'm going to do a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, skip a stitch, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, skip 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, skip 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. All the way around. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the same stitch, skip a stitch, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, skip 1. And you're going to do this all the way around. And I will meet you when we get back to the beginning. Okay, I've just finished my last V-stitch. I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch into the 3rd chain of my starting chain. Now I'm going to go into that chain 1 space. I am going to chain 5, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and make a double crochet into that same space. This is a double crochet chain 2. So again, I'm going to put my stitch marker into that 3rd chain. I'm going to hop over to the next chain 1 space, and I'm going to do the same thing, a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. Next space, same thing. And I'm going to continue that all the way around. In every chain 1 space, I am going to put a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. So go ahead and do that, and I will meet you at the end. Okay, let's go ahead and slip stitch into that 3rd chain. Oops, it wanted to slide back in. All right, so we just finished round 9. If you're making anything larger than a size small, go ahead and add 2 more rounds, identical to this. Double crochet, chain 2, double crochet in every chain 2 space. Okay? If you're making a small, which will fit a very small adult, youth, then this is where you don't add any more round 9. Okay, so go ahead if you need to put 2 more rounds on, possibly 3. I would not go more than 3. And when you're done with that, unpause, come back, and we will continue with round 9. All right. I just looked at my pattern, you guys. We're going to repeat this round 1 more time for every size. And then when we get to after we finish round 10, are you ready for this? You'd swear I'd never made one of these before. I was right. I don't know what my notes are saying. It just says repeat row 9 2 times for large and extra large. So yeah, I was right. This is it. We're going to start round 10 right now. Slip stitch into that chain 2 space. Chain 1. No, in fact, I don't want you to slip stitch into the chain 2 space. I want you just to slip stitch chain 1 and then put a half double crochet into that stitch. I apologize for all the confusion right here. So just to clarify, this is round 9 with the double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. Repeat that 2 more times for a large or an extra large. Do not repeat it for a small. And then when you get your 2 more rounds done, if needed, come back and we'll do this. And we're going to start with a half double crochet into that very same stitch we just slip stitched into. And now continuing. 2 half double crochets into the chain 2 space and a half double crochet into every stitch. So 2 in the chain 2 space and 1 in every stitch. And these are half doubles. And when we're done with this round, we should have 168 half double crochets. This is the one round that you absolutely want to be sure you've got the correct stitch count. All right, so go ahead, put a half double in every stitch and 2 half doubles in every chain 2 space. Make sure you end with 168 half double crochets. And remember, you can add or subtract depending on what you need to do if your count is off. And I will meet you at the end where things will go smoothly once again. All right, so I've got my 168 half double crochets. I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch into that very first one. Now here's where we are definitely going to be using our stitch markers. I want you to count 42 stitches. Put a stitch marker on number 42. And then count 53 stitches and put a stitch marker on that very next stitch. And then including this, count 42 and put a stitch marker on number 42. So there's 42 stitches including each of these stitch markers. So there should be a stitch marker, 41, and a stitch marker. No. You guys, I am confusing myself. Put a stitch marker right here. Count 42. Put a stitch marker in number 42. All right. So now let's chain 45. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, once you've got your chain of 45 done, go to that stitch marker and in the very next stitch, put a double crochet. And now we're going to put a double crochet into every stitch until we get to that next stitch marker. Okay, so go ahead, double crochet in every stitch up to the next stitch marker. Should be 53 double crochets. Okay, I have reached my stitch marker. Now I'm going to chain 42. Okay, after you've got your chain of 42 done, you're going to go to this next stitch marker. And in the very next stitch, place a double crochet. And then place a double crochet into every stitch all the way to the end. And I will catch up with you there. Okay, you should have 30 double crochets between the end of this chain and the beginning of this next one. So we're going to go to the 1, 2, 3rd chain up, and we are going to slip stitch like so. All right, you guys. Now we are going to put in 168 double crochets. There should be 42 double crochets in each chain. You can either crochet over the chain, you can do the back bump, you can do however you want to do it. Just get 42, make sure there are 42 double crochets in each of your chains. I am going to do the back bump. And I'm going to put a stitch marker right there so I know that is my first stitch. This takes me forever because although I like the way it looks using that back bump, I'm not real good at doing it. I know some people can just slide their hooks right in there. Easy peasy. Me, I have to make it difficult, I guess. So if you don't want to do the back bump, I totally get it. If you just want to crochet over the chain, I get it. So just do whatever you are comfortable doing. All right? And just make sure, like I said, that you have 42 double crochets in or around the chain for a total of 168 double crochets at the end. And because this is taking forever, I will meet you at the end. Okay, I've managed to get all the way around. I have got 168 double crochets. And now I am just going to slip stitch to the top of that very first double crochet. What we're going to do now is chain 4, and in that very same stitch, place a double crochet. And that counts as a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. We're going to skip 1, and we're going to do double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Skip 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Skip, and we're going to do this all the way around. Putting a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in one stitch, skipping the next, and then repeating. Just like, nope. Just like that. And I will meet you when we get back here. Okay, I've made it around to the end. I am now going to slip stitch into the third chain of my starting chain. And I am going to slip stitch into that chain 1 space. And I'm going to chain 5. And place a double crochet into that same space. Put my stitch marker in my chain 3, and this equals out to a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. And we are going to go into that next chain 1 space and do the same. Double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. Skip those 2 stitches and go into that chain 1 space. Double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. And we are just going to do this all the way around. So go ahead, continue doing this, and I will meet you when we get back here. Okay, just finished that round. Now we are going to go ahead and slip stitch into that 3rd chain up. Okay, and now we're going to slip stitch over into that chain 2 space. And we are going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and wrap twice because we're going to make a treble into that same exact space. And let's put our stitch marker in the 1, 2, 3, 4th space up so we have a chain 2 in between them. Let's wrap twice, go into that next chain 2 space, a treble, chain 2, and a treble. Okay. We are going to do this row, a total of 15, 16, 17, 18, 4 times. So we'll have 4 rows of this treble crochet, chain 2, treble crochet into every chain space. All right, 4 rows. This is row 15, and we're going to do 15, 16, 17, and 18. I will meet you at the end of round. It is a combination of row and round. At the end of round 18. Okay, I'm going to interrupt here just for a moment. I am in the middle of my 2nd sleeve on round 15, and I am running out of yarn. So in case you've never seen how I don't know, connect my yarn, I take the piece I'm working on, I loop it with the loop over the top with the tail on the right-hand side. And then my new yarn, I take and I make a loop with the tail in the back going off to the left. Then I place the working yarn on top, and I take my tail around behind and bring it through. And then with my new yarn, I take my tail, go over the top, put it through both loops and out the back. So that we're like this. And then I pull tight. And then I pull tight this way. And I pull tight that way. One good tug, not too tug. And then I take my scissors and I cut close to that knot as I can. And there you are. Let's see. See, and there we are. And you see, can't even tell. All right, carry on. I'll meet you at the end of round 18. This is what we're looking like after 2 rounds of the treble, crochet 2, treble, chain 2, treble. Getting a nice lacy effect. And now let's go ahead and do those last 2 rounds. Alrighty, I have my 4 rounds done. I'm going to slip stitch into the 1, 2, 3, 4th stitch of that beginning chain, and I'm going to go over into this middle, well, not just into it. And here I am going to chain 6. But instead of a treble, I'm going to put a double. And then I'm going to go into that next chain 2 space, put in a double, chain 3, double. And I am just going to continue to do this all the way around. Into every chain 2 spot, a double, chain 3, double. All right, so just continue doing this all the way around, and I will meet you back here. Okay, when you've reached the end, go ahead and slip stitch into the third chain of your starting chain. And then go ahead, slip stitch over into that chain 3 space and repeat that row. So you're going to chain 6, double crochet into that same space, go into the next chain 3 space, double crochet, chain 3, double crochet, and do that all the way around. And I will meet you back here. Okay, once you've got that around, go ahead and in the third chain, slip stitch. Now here is where if you try it on and you think you want this part bigger from the sleeve out, go ahead and add more rounds of this double crochet, chain 3, double crochet until you have it within a couple inches of what you want it to be. Otherwise, we're going to slip stitch into that chain 3 space. Chain 2 does not count. And we're going to put 5 double crochets into that chain 3 space. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to put a single crochet into that next stitch. Go over to your next chain 3 space, 5 double crochets. And a single crochet into one of those 2 double crochets, and then chain 3, 5. Double crochets, and then a single into one of the doubles. 5 doubles into that chain 3 space. And single into one of those doubles. It doesn't matter which one. As long as we've got 5 double crochets in our chain 3 spaces, you can put that single into either one of those, wherever you're comfortable doing it. So it's 5 double crochets into that chain 3 space. And then a single. And then 5 doubles into the chain 3. And a single. And you're just going to continue doing that all the way around. so that it's looking like this. And I will meet you when we get back to the beginning. Okay, you guys, I actually misspoke. We don't want to do on the doubles. We want to go between those two doubles to put our single. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 doubles in our chain 3 space, and then go between our V's to put the single. Alrighty then. So my battery just died, and I was watching the video back to see where I was, and I noticed that I was out of frame, so I apologize for that. I would also like to recap this last round. It is 5 double crochets in the chain 3 space, and then go between the V-stitches to put your single crochet. And you do that all the way around. I've just got my last, well, not my last, but I've just got my single crochet in there. I'm doing my last cluster of 5 in this chain 3 space. Putting in my single. And now I am going to go up into the 3rd chain. I'm going to slip stitch, and then I am going to slip stitch again. 1, 2, until I am at the 3rd chain of my cluster. Now I am going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to go across to that 3rd, I want to say the center of the cluster, but it's 1, 2, the 3rd double crochet, put a single crochet. And we're just going to do that all the way around, chain 7. And into that 3rd double crochet, place a single crochet. So you have a nice chain like that. All right, just do that all the way around, and I will meet you back here at the end. Okay, so I've just put in my last set of 5 double crochets into this chain 7 space. I'm going to go ahead and put in my single crochet, and then I'm just going to connect there. We're done. So I'm going to snip off my yarn, pull that through like so. This is the outside, so I'm just going to flip it. I'm going to put my yarn on my needle, and then I'm going to just go down, go through some of those loops, pull my yarn through, and then I'm going to go back through, and I'm going to do that one more time. And this time I'm going to go through the fiber, pull that through, and snip it. Then I'm going to go down here to my beginning, and I'm going to secure that simply by going through and then going back. I'm going to go through some of these and go back. Okay, I guess that's where it wanted to end. Snip that off. And now we are done. And there you have it. We have our finished product. I used 2 full cakes and about 3/4 of a third cake making this. So go ahead, have fun making it. I hope I didn't screw up too many places in this tutorial. If I did, my apologies. I will have in the description everything that needs to be addressed. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to stay safe and have a wonderful day.